relayed that President Trump wanted to see rule of law, transparency, but also specifically cooperation on investigations to get to the bottom of things. Once President Zelensky joined the call, the conversation was focused on energy policy and the war in Donbass. President Zelensky also said he looked forward to the White House visit President Trump had offered.
My name is Daniela Odako, and I'm a reporter for The Mesquite. We recently did a story on President Trump's impeachment situation that's currently going on. We went around campus and we asked students to express their opinions on it, and we found that students were reluctant to give their opinions on the matter. And we wondered, why is this? Why are students hesitant in sharing their views and opinions on such a matter like this?
I personally think it's going to be two things. Like, first off is that many students are not well informed, and secondly, this is a left-leaning campus. Right. So if there's someone who's a Republican, I don't think they'd want to express their views that openly.
I think it's probably a combination of both. You know, some people just, I mean, if you know what you're talking about, some people just don't want to look stupid, but also, you know, a lot of people don't like being controversial. I mean, I've always been taught that, you know, my mind is like my biggest weapon, so why keep it silent, you know? And I try not to say things that I really don't know what I'm talking about. I try to keep that as minimal as possible.
We interviewed Dr. Andrew Sanders. He's a political science professor, and he explained to us what impeachment is and the process of how it works.
The Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, would pass the articles of impeachment. There would be a vote in the House. You only need a simple majority, so 50% plus one. The Democrats have more than 50% of the seats in the House of Representatives, so even if the vote goes on party lines, that should pass. It then goes to the Senate, and the Senate acts as essentially the court for an impeachment trial. If this reaches the Senate, it requires a 2/3 majority in the Senate to pass. That's 67 senators. Now, if the vote goes on party lines in the Senate, that's not going to be enough to remove President Trump from office.
From the students we interviewed, we found that there were different opinions on the matter. For instance, Tanya Romo, a criminal justice senior, feels neutral on the subject. She said, "I get that Trump has the kind of in-your-face personality, but at the moment, him being president does not affect me as a student." Other students felt differently.
I kind of want to know more before I make a decision about that. Right now I'm leaning towards it's not really illegal. You know, you can say bullying a foreign leader is wrong. It certainly is, but it's not illegal.
I would like for him to be impeached. I would love for him to be removed from office, but I kind of don't see it going there just because I know of the politics and something's getting in the way. You know, he's going to find his way out some way, somehow. But hopefully that he is removed from office. That's the plan.
One thing that we found interesting was that in spite of all the differences that these students had, there was consensus among them about one thing: look at both sides of the story.
I think that if you just rely on opinion pieces to make your decisions, then you're not really going to make the best educated decision. I think it's very important to look at both sides of the argument, because that's what I try to do. Because if you just stick to one side of the argument, obviously, then you're just going to continue that path, even if it's wrong.
I'd like for them to take every view into account, you know, make a decision for yourself. Don't just click on one article and think that's the truth.
Try to have respectful conversations with each other. You know, if you're a Democrat and you know somebody who's a Trump supporter, you know, try and have a respectful conversation, get a sense of where they're coming from. Mm-hmm. You might not necessarily come away from the conversation agreeing with them in any way, but at least you'll understand why they think like that. And that's what we try to do in our classes. We try to look at why is it that people don't think the same things as you.